On March 8, 2014, something strange happened with Malaysian Airlines Flight MH370. It took off from Kuala Lumpur at 12:42 AM, heading back to Beijing with 227 passengers, 10 flight attendants and 2 pilots. Captain Zahari Ahmad Shah, a 53-year-old experienced captain, and First Officer Farik Hamid, a 27-year-old in training. For the first 20 minutes, everything seemed normal as the flight followed its route. Then, at 1:08 AM, it crossed the Malaysian coastline, entering the South China Sea towards Vietnam. Captain Zahari reported no issues, and 11 minutes later, Vietnamese air traffic control took over. They asked the flight to contact Ho Chi Minh on a specific frequency. Captain Zahari responded with a casual, "Good night, MH370. But that was the last anyone heard from the plane. It disappeared mysteriously, becoming one of the biggest aviation mysteries ever.
Breaking news tonight, a Malaysia Airlines flight with 239 people on board, including 4 Americans, has gone missing.
Where is Malaysia Airlines Flight 370?
MH370 vanished while heading to Beijing. The plane went into the southern Indian Ocean. Just 30 seconds after entering Vietnamese airspace, it disappeared from the radar at 1:21 AM. The Kuala Lumpur air traffic control didn't notice it at first. When they did, they thought the plane had gone beyond their radar range into Vietnam's airspace. So initially, they didn't find anything unusual. Meanwhile, in Vietnam, the air traffic control noticed MH370 entering their airspace, but then it vanished from their radar out of the blue. They tried reaching out to the plane, but there was no reply. After attempting for 18 minutes without success, the Vietnamese controllers let Kuala Lumpur know that MH370 had disappeared suddenly. Normally, when a plane disappears like this, Kuala Lumpur's Aeronautical Rescue Coordination Center should be told within 1 hour. However, in this case, it took 4 hours before they started an emergency response. At 6:32 in the morning, the plane was supposed to be in Beijing, but it didn't land. They quickly started a search to find the plane. They began efforts to locate it. If you check the map from the plane's route from Malaysia to Beijing, Vietnam and the South China Sea are in the middle. Naturally, the search started in the South China Sea to find the plane. This effort involved multiple countries. 34 ships and 28 aircraft from 7 different nations joined in the search that morning. Unfortunately, they couldn't find any sign of the plane. Despite the international collaboration and the extensive search, the mystery of the missing plane persisted. Around 4 days later, on March 12th, it was revealed that although the civilian radar lost track of the plane, a military radar had actually spotted it that night. Surprisingly, according to this military radar, the plane was last seen at 2:22 AM. But here's the twist. It wasn't over the South China Sea. Instead, it was near the Andaman and Nicobar Islands, westward from Malaysia, above the Strait of Malacca. The military radar reading suggested that the plane was flying north, heading towards the Andaman and Nicobar Islands, the opposite direction from Beijing. This news left everyone surprised and puzzled. Where did the plane go? Did it head towards India, potentially crashing in the Himalayas or in Kazakhstan? The mystery deepened, raising more questions about the plane's strange and unexpected route. A few days later, a new piece of evidence emerged from satellite data. It was discovered that the plane attempted to automatically communicate with the satellite, a common practice for large airplanes like the Boeing 777. They do this to facilitate communication, much like your phone automatically connecting to known Wi-Fi networks. However, the issue was that when the plane communicated with the satellite, it only attempted to log in and establish a connection. No data about the plane's location was transmitted. The satellite only knew that the plane tried to communicate, but had no information about where it actually was. This finding added another layer of the complexity to the mystery, as the attempts to communicate with the satellite didn't provide any insight into the plane's whereabouts. However, some scientists and investigators saw an opportunity to use this information to estimate the plane's location. They theorized that when the satellite received the communication, it likely adjusted its antenna toward the plane. Using the angle of the satellite's antenna, they made calculations and approximations to determine where the plane might be located. When the plane attempted to communicate with the satellite, it made 7 tries. These attempts are represented by 7 circles. These circles are called satellite handshakes. Each circle indicates the time when the plane tried to communicate with the satellite. The 7th and the last circle represents the most recent attempt, signifying the potential location of the plane. What surprised investigators was the vastness of this circle, covering a huge area from Kazakhstan, China, Indonesia to Australia, and a vast ocean. The plane could be anywhere within or even beyond this circle, marking the last known communication point. Following this, investigators conducted additional calculations, considering the plane's speed and remaining fuel. They estimated that the plane could be within the shaded region of the circle, specifically along an arc known as the 7th arc. This 7th arc is situated 2,000 kilometers west of Australia, covering a vast expanse. Importantly, it's an area of the ocean that hasn't been explored much. On the map, you can identify the location of the satellites used for these predictions. The outermost yellow dotted circle represents the maximum distance the plane could have traveled with its remaining fuel, based on a 7-hour flight time. The red curved arc is the 7th arc, believed to be the area where the plane may have crashed. Subsequently, numerous search operations were initiated, as indicated by the yellow shaded regions on the map. The orange area denotes the priority search zone, where the majority of search efforts were concentrated. By April 2014, surface search operations for the plane were halted as they proved unproductive. Recognizing that a crashed plane would likely have sunk, deep sea searches were initiated. This became the most extensive and costly search operation to date. Despite weeks, months, and even years of effort, they were unable to locate any traces of the plane. 3 years later, and after spending $160 million, they decided to end the operation, considering it a failure. However, there was a glimmer of hope in July 2015, when the first piece of debris from the plane was discovered. The debris, a part of the plane's flaperon, washed ashore on the island of Réunion, situated east of Madagascar. Following this, in 2018, an American company, Ocean Infinity, entered a new agreement with the Malaysian government to resume search operations for the missing plane. In a unique arrangement, they would only charge, if successful, a no-find, no-fee commitment. Equipped with advanced underwater surveillance vehicles, they began mapping the ocean floor in the 7th arc region. During the search, they discovered numerous underwater features, such as volcanoes, cliffs, and mountains. Despite months of efforts, unfortunately, they were unable to locate the plane, marking another unsuccessful mission in the ongoing search for MH370. They chose to investigate the backgrounds of the passengers and pilots to understand their history, and check for any potential hijacking attempts. These inquiries led to various theories about what might have happened to the plane. Let's explore these theories and assumptions one by one. The investigation began by exploring possibilities for the plane disappearing from radar. One scenario considered was an electrical failure, an accident, or a technological malfunction causing equipment failure. Another possibility was the intentional manual shutdown of the transponder by a passenger or pilot. The first theory implicated Captain Zahari Shah, suggesting he deliberately disabled communication and crashed the plane into the ocean. The motive behind such actions has been speculated, with some suggesting potential mental health issues, suicidal tendencies, or even a hijacking scenario akin to a terror attack. These theories highlight the complex and mysterious nature of MH370's disappearance. Why is Zahari Shah under suspicion? Several arguments support this theory. Firstly, the plane made a nearly 180-degree turn from Vietnam back to Malaysia, a move autopilot couldn't execute independently. It indicates intentional manual action by the pilot. Secondly, the plane flew directly above the border between Thailand and Malaysia, a deliberate maneuver to evade both countries' airspace radars. A compelling third point is the existence of a flight simulator at Zahari Shah's home. While not uncommon, he had simulated a path on the game eerily similar to MH370's route, raising questions about the connection between his simulator activity and the actual flight's path. While this might seem plausible, the person in charge of the search operation vehemently rejected this theory. He argued that numerous counter-arguments exist against such a scenario. Firstly, Zahari Shah was a highly experienced and well-regarded pilot, lacking any history of family or economic problems. There were no past behaviors indicating such intentions, making it unreasonable to doubt his integrity. If a pilot were to contemplate suicide or intentionally crash the plane, signs of such distress would typically manifest in their behavior or personal life. However, no such indicators were discovered in Zahari Shah's case, casting doubt on the validity of the theory. Another theory suggests that hijackers, possibly terrorists, were responsible for the disappearance of the plane. This theory gained traction when 2 Iranian passengers came under suspicion for traveling with fake passports. One passport was stolen from an Italian man, while the other belonged to an Austrian man, both stolen in Thailand. Allegedly, these individuals intended to use the stolen passports to reach Europe. Investigations revealed one passenger's mother waiting for him in Hamburg, Germany. However, the theory of terrorism was ultimately dismissed due to a lack of evidence beyond the stolen passports. Interpol confirmed that they were likely not terrorists, but individuals seeking to settle in Europe using the stolen passports. This revelation undermined the notion of a terrorist attack aboard MH370. Now, let's delve into the third theory, considered the most plausible. It suggests that everyone on MH370, including Captain Zahari Ahmad Shah and his co-pilot, fell unconscious due to oxygen deficiency. Essentially, the entire plane was incapacitated, running on autopilot until it eventually ran out of fuel and crashed into the ocean. The oxygen deficiency could have resulted from various factors. Some speculate an electrical fire in the cockpit that disrupted several systems, including the transponder. Others propose an accident leading to a sudden oxygen shortage. There's even the notion that hijackers might have intentionally created an oxygen deficiency. This theory offers a comprehensive explanation for the mysterious disappearance, integrating technical malfunctions, autopilot operation, and potential oxygen-related incidents. Consider a possible scenario to understand this theory better. Upon entering Vietnamese airspace, the pilots may have detected malfunctions, prompting the plane to turn back to Malaysia. However, during this return, a catastrophic incident could have occurred, leading to oxygen deficiency and causing everyone on board to lose consciousness. With several systems malfunctioning, the plane continued flying on autopilot. The military radar detected the plane, and autopilot, without human intervention, abruptly turned it southward. It continued flying above the Indian Ocean until it eventually crashed, around 2,000 kilometers west of Australia. This example illustrates how oxygen deficiency, technical malfunctions, and autopilot operation could have contributed to the mysterious disappearance of MH370. Initially, numerous far-fetched theories emerged surrounding the disappearance of the plane, including claims of alien abduction, the US military shooting it down and concealing the truth, Russian President Putin knowing its location, or the formation of a new Bermuda Triangle. However, these speculations are not considered very likely. With several years passing since the incident, as of 2022, there's finally evidence that sheds light on the potential whereabouts of the plane. Friends, this information is from 2022. Richard Godfrey, a retired aerospace engineer, asserts that he has unraveled the mystery behind MH370's disappearance. Utilizing radio wave technologies, he conducted calculations by combining data from various sources, including the British Inmarsat satellite, Boeing, Australian oceanographers, and the new WSPR-net amateur radio wave technology. Richard Godfrey said, "I have been retracing the steps through the data, and based on that tracking of MH370, I am confident that they will be able to locate the aircraft.
Richard Godfrey combined data from British Inmarsat satellites, figures from Boeing, Australian oceanographers, and new WhisperNet amateur radio wave technology.
I've been tracking back through the data and out of that tracking MH370.
His methodology involves a comprehensive analysis, merging information from different domains to provide a more holistic understanding of the aircraft's trajectory. This recent revelation holds promise in finally uncovering the truth about the whereabouts of MH370, offering a potential resolution to one of the most perplexing mysteries in aviation history. To explain this technology comprehensively would be intricate due to its complexity, but in essence, Richard Godfrey employed a method using reflections of radio waves to predict the flight path of MH370. While not a new technology, it involves capturing reflections of radio waves emitted from a source, which bounce off the atmosphere and reach other locations as weak signals. By developing a computer program capable of recognizing flight paths through these weak signals, Godfrey conducted calculations, leading him to conclude that, as of today, MH370 lies precisely on a specific point of the 7th arc, submerged 4 kilometers underwater. The underwater landscape in this region features cliffs and underwater volcanoes, making it challenging to find the plane. Notably, this area had been searched during Australia's extensive search operation, which was the most expensive one conducted, but it is conceivable that the plane was somehow missed. The subsequent search operation by Ocean Infinity, with more advanced instruments, had not examined this specific point. Richard Godfrey's approach, utilizing radio wave reflections, introduces a potentially groundbreaking perspective that could aid in the ongoing quest to locate MH370. Richard Godfrey is highly confident in the accuracy of his calculations, pinpointing the exact location of MH370 under the sea with a precision of 40 nautical miles. He advocates for a new search operation within this radius, asserting that the plane would likely be found in this comparatively small area, a significant reduction from previous search efforts. This development presents an optimistic prospect in unraveling the mystery surrounding the flight. However, some critics challenge the methodology Richard employed, contending that his methods lack the necessary precision. Despite criticisms, Richard remains resolute, suggesting that if a new search operation commences promptly, it could be completed within a year, providing a definitive answer regarding the plane's presence in the specified area. Richard Godfrey remains steadfast in his belief that the plane is likely to be discovered within this targeted search radius, offering a potential breakthrough in resolving the enigma of MH370. A drift analysis, considering ocean currents, was also performed to explore the potential locations of various plane debris if MH370 had indeed crashed in the specific area. According to this analysis, some pieces of the plane would have drifted toward Madagascar and the surrounding islands. Remarkably, debris matching this analysis has been found on these islands. To date, 27 pieces of the plane have been discovered on various islands worldwide. This drift analysis aligns with Richard's calculations, reinforcing the possibility that the targeted search area proposed by him could yield crucial evidence, linking the discovered debris locations with the predicted path of MH370, and providing valuable insights into the mystery of the missing flight. The not so good news is that from 2022 until now, we still haven't discovered the plane. As of 2024, a potential breakthrough has emerged in solving the MH370 mystery and locating its wreckage. Aerospace experts Jean-Luc Marchand and Patrick Blely claim to have calculated a precise and relatively small search zone in the southern Indian Ocean, where they believe the plane crashed. Their methodology involves a comprehensive analysis, incorporating diverse datasets such as satellite data, Boeing performance data, oceanographic drift data, and radio wave data. The experts suggest that the plane was likely hijacked and intentionally flown to evade detection, ultimately ending up in a remote area of the ocean. In light of their findings, Marchand and Blely are urging Malaysian and Australian authorities as well as the private company Ocean Infinity, to initiate a new search operation. Ocean Infinity, having previously undertaken a search for MH370 on a no-find, no-fee basis, possesses advanced technology that could expedite the search process. The proposed search zone is notably smaller than those explored in previous operations, reducing the area that needs to be investigated. Marchand and Blelly expressed that, with the application of their new technology and the specified search zone, the wreckage of MH370 could potentially be located within a remarkably short time frame, ranging from 5 to 15 days. Maybe soon we'll uncover the mystery of what happened to the plane. What do you think is the most likely explanation for the disappearance of this plane? Where do you think they will finally find the wreckage? Leave us your opinions down in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more mysterious content. Until next time, stay curious. Thanks for watching.